Yo peeps, welcome to this mini little episode of the Conspiracy Cupboard. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Cue the title sequence. Okay, done. Right, so this mini little episode is basically just about LSD. So apparently, at the minute, they are using microdosing of LSD to compete with each other in the corporate market. Basically, using LSD to get an edge on the innovations and technological fields in IT and those kind of fields. It's not something that you'd associate, is it, right now? With if I say IT to you, or computer science, anything, you don't think LSD. But here we are. Apparently, from microdosing LSD, so you're not getting the full psychoactive experience, you start to open up the connections in your mind. Now, I'm not sure exactly what levels they are classing as microdosing with the LSD. I assume it would go sort of from person to person on what range level you could basically intake. So you're not going to be having the psychedelic effects, but you're still going to get the benefits from the small amounts of LSD. Unfortunately, with LSD still being illegal across the world, it's very hard to do anything with it. Now, I have done some episodes on obviously the studies that Imperial College London have been doing on LSD, on psilocybin, and on DMT. Now, the studies on DMT are fascinating. They are trying to map the other realm, the other place that we go to. And while I'm actually on the subject very quickly, I just want to apologise for the ending of the last episode that I did. It sort of got away from me a little bit, that episode, because that meeting that we've just had in Congress is just, it needs to be more, but it's not. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, back to this. So, as far as LSD goes, then it has been researched at the Imperial College London as well. So they can get research grants for LSD and psilocybin and DMT and other substances, and use them in test subjects, obviously, to basically experiment with them. But what we don't want to happen is see, this is where it sort of goes onto a tangent, doesn't it? Because substances like LSD, we think of the hippie movement, we think of freedom. What you don't want is to start using something like LSD to control. I mean, okay, if it helps you focus, but to use it to then controls people's focus to make your system then work better and people fit more into the system that they're meant to be in, and using it the opposite way of what it's meant to be used for, as the experience, the psychedelic experience, and microdosing on mushrooms and things can bring this kind of clarity. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying we need to make sure how this is used and put forward. Because if big companies, big pharma suddenly start sticking their labels on, it's, Pfizer LSD, this is great for you, take these and you can go to work. Then this is what I'm saying. It's where they market it. For years, people have always said, "Oh, cannabis is illegal because you can't tax it." Well, as it's been proven, you can tax it, and you can do quite well off the shops and everything that you're doing with it, and build, an industry where people either come to your area for cannabis, or you ship it out. And it's been proven, obviously, there, like I've just said, as a major industry. So all that bollocks about you can't tax, you can't do this, was just rubbish. It's just they didn't want to. That's the difference in it. As soon as they can get their teeth into something, they want to do it. Then it then takes it away from what it's meant to be. All the time, corporations and huge conglomerates do this to us. They do it through our food. They do it through music. If you fit into a certain category and a certain element here, perfect. But if you're just outside of that range, we can either make you work or we just throw you away. And that's how they think. Money, 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 profit, profit, profit. Is this going to work? Brilliant. Oh, I can now legally sell LSD. Great, but I'll just sell it in little bits and they can have this. Fantastic. We'll bottle this. Like I say, stick Pfizer on it and there you go. Pfizer LSD coming to you straight away. I mean, like, no, you've just then taken the entire meaning of, psychedelics away from that experience, from what it should be. So, as with all these psychedelic episodes that I do, I am not encouraging people just to willy nilly go out there and try psychedelics. I do believe that everybody should have a psychedelic experience, whether it be on mushrooms, whether it be on acid, LSD, or finally an ayahuasca trip or some kind of DMT experience. Because until you've been in those realms and you've experienced being there and, take you, when you've had a trip, you cannot you can bring things back that people might recollect. Like you could say I could take my head off and it looked like it was moving around a screen or something, or it felt like I could do this and X, Y, and Z. And people could take those experiences in. It's what I equate out of body experiences to, or some UFO experiences, some experiences have been taken. They do sort of mirror out of body experiences or experiences that you've had on psychedelics. And I'm not saying that everyone that's ever been abducted or claims to have been abducted or anything has been on psychedelics. I'm not saying that at all, because I do believe that people have been taken by aliens or other entities or whatever it is that's out there that's doing these things to us. So the main point of this little rant in this episode is that brilliant. If they're going to legalize LSD, fantastic. It would be amazing for them to do so, because the only reason that they made it illegal in the first place was because they didn't like the hippie movement, which was actually stood on top of the Boys of America, I think it was, that actually protested against going to war. And it was actually quite a right wing sort of movement along with the leftists. And then it became this thing because they again put propaganda behind it and then used LSD as a gatepost to staple people to, and marijuana, and just go, right, now, okay, all this is now illegal, you can't do this because it opens people's mind, blah, blah, blah. When they knew actually the effects that it has and what it's meant to do to you is beneficial for humanity as a whole. And I've always said that an actual understanding of drugs, whatever drugs they are, if you are taught properly about them and their effects, and you are allowed to experience those drugs. I'm not talking about heroin, but psilocybin, LSD, things like that. If you're allowed to experience them in a proper, safe environment, in a proper way, where you can be guided and understand what's going on, that's a lot better for you than never knowing or being told this is evil, this is bad. I hate to break it to you, but there is no good and evil. There really is no good and evil. There is only people's perceptions of what you're going to do. There is obviously right and wrong things to do. Kill someone, don't kill someone. Blow up this place, don't blow up this place. Make love to this person, make love to this. But you've got all these choices, all these options. Free will is actually what we were gifted with, and I believe that psilocybin, LSD, and these things open up our minds, take away our egos, strip us back, and let us realize who we are, and actually that we're all part of this one conscious universe, and that we should all be working together to better humanity. So whether it's from the UFO stuff or whether it's to people trying to sell you Pfizer LSD, let's try and find the common ground. And somewhere, I think, across the world, everyone that I speak to, I mean, I live in the UK. We have people from all over the world here. I speak to people from Bulgaria, from Africa, from India, from Pakistan, from all over the world. We get people here from Australia, Canada, New Zealand, America, and everyone I speak to has the same values. Your religion might be different. You might have, a different ideology of certain things, but at the end of the day, we all want our children to be warm and fed. We want our women to be protected. We want us to be protected as men. We want everyone to get on with each other. And without these zealots or over religious people uh, pushing ideologies on us and trying to get us to go their way or this way in one way or another, we actually all generally get along with each other. And that's the thing that the governments are terrified of. So do not let the big farmers take over the LSD industry and make it into a bottled pill of happiness for you to take so that you can go and do your daily work. Let us keep those things so that we can actually have those experiences and actually use them for what they're meant to be used for. Now, like I've said, just to finish off, LSD can be used on microdosing levels as well as psilocybin to heighten your level of consciousness. That is not a bad thing, but don't let it be marketed into something that means you are becoming a robot. Peace and love to you guys. I shall see you in the next one when we talk about 15-minute cities and the climate crisis.